Hello and welcome back to the X-Files Revisited. We are on to episode 6 of season 4, Sanguinarium. Right?
Is it 6 or is it 5? Yeah, it's 6, isn't it? Blimey.
Is 5 not the field I live in? Or the field I
It
died
is
in?
the field I died in. I think we all felt like we died in that field. Yeah. All right, okay. Sanguinarium, episode 6.
The legacy of this one, Brian?
I think there's... when I read reviews of this one, or certainly around the time when it came out and magazines talked about it, a lot of them didn't rate this one particularly highly from what I remember. I'd be interested to see what you think of it, because I know you're quite a fan of like splatter horror and stuff like that. So this is definitely down that route. I think the episode I would most like, and this one too, I would say, is Die Hand die Verletzt.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe not on that level, but certainly it's got that kind of vibe about it.
Yeah.
And we're on Kim Manners directing, I believe, which is he likes to bring in the gore. But yeah, you care to guess where this one sits on the IMDb ranking board? 217 episodes. Where is it?
I think we'll go for straight on 100.
You rather overestimated. I wonder if that's shown your hand. No, 164.
Wow. So
yeah,
well off then.
Well off, yeah. So in the bottom quarter. So X-Files fans have ranked this in the bottom quarter. Well, IMDb X-Files fans at any rate. Yeah. Shall we get into it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right then. So we start off as any good episode of television does, with a liposuction surgery.
Yeah.
Woman being prepped. You can see she's all nervous and stuff, and the surgeon scrubs his fingers red raw, and then goes and kills a patient.
Yep.
Yeah. I was sat here watching this. And whenever I watch these now, I sit there and I imagine I'm watching them with you, because I'm like, I wonder what Graham's thinking about this right now. And I was sat there watching it. I was thinking, if Graham was sat here right now, he'd be rubbing his hands together, going, "Oh yes, come on."
I was over the moon after the starting that we had for the last episode. This was straight in. It's horrific. It's disgusting. It's so yucky. The way he's just everything just fills with blood and gore and yuckiness, and I was,
oh man,
yeah, I was just like that. Sold. Fantastic. Okay. Amazing episode already.
I was just thinking the villain from Too Shy could have done with one of them machines. It might have really helped him out with his process. I don't know, but just
the whole crazed look of the Doctor as well. I just that sweat in the eyes. And
the thing is, like before you see what he's doing, it looks dodgy in so many other ways. It's either going to be one of them episodes or one of them episodes.
And it was just the Doctor that's there, nobody else. Just them alone. Let them do what they're doing. Awesome.
So Mulder and Scully interview the Doctor, who seems quite distraught. Well, as anybody would be. Says it was like being outside of his own body. And his lawyer gets all douchey on Mulder and Scully. We get douchey lawyer, which I just find at this point. I don't know about you, but the line of questioning from Mulder and Scully feels quite sympathetic towards this Doctor. Like it's like they're open to hearing whatever this guy has to say. Yeah. And yet the lawyer's instantly in douchebag mode. Like, no, you ain't talking to my client. You can't ask him that. I'm going to shut this down now. And you're just like, what? Come on, guy. It's not like they've probed with a accusatory question yet.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's the FBI, and he has just literally murdered somebody on the operating table. You know, you kind of want your lawyer just being like, don't answer anything.
Yeah. Okay, so we get. See, I've done these notes. I don't know. I think so. I think this came out of the interview. I don't know, but or Scully went to check or something. But we learned that. No. So we get a discussion. So basically, from this encounter with the Doctor and Mulder and Scully and the lawyer, it kind of sets up the conceit of the episode, which is addiction to pills from overworking or witchcraft.
Yeah.
So it's like, which one could it possibly be?
The Doctor mentions it during his interview that he was on pills for that.
Yeah.
But then we jump to the next scene, which is in the hospital, isn't it?
Yeah, Rebecca Waite. So we meet this nurse, Rebecca Waite. She was the nurse who was on duty at the time, and when she's kind of shortly questioned by Mulder and Scully, she just says, I just did my job as a nurse. So like,
she looks dodgy as hell.
She really does. She looks proper dodgy. Doctor says, I need you to keep up with me. So he's got that proper kind of douchey surgeon feel about him. Would do very well in an episode of ER. So we then get like we keep flitting from what the Doctor and Rebecca Waite are doing to this boardroom meeting where
is that after the fact that Mulder has drawn the pentagram?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Am I?
So, well, it's not in my notes anyway. Put it that way. But so we go from the Doctor and Rebecca Waite trying to sort stuff out there to a boardroom meeting where they're discussing Rebecca, and they're kind of saying she doesn't know anything, and so it's all very shady, and this is what I mean about when I said Die Hand Verletzt, where you had that kind of boardroom of teachers, didn't you? That were all they were all up to witchcraft, and
it feels cultish, and the table has a kind of pentagram on it as well, I think.
Yeah.
It feels very much like the typical idea of upper class cult.
Yeah, big time. It just, like I say, to me, it just felt like the same situation as Die Hand Verletzt, but rather than in a school, we're in a hospital. And rather than students being the prey, it was patients. But it's essentially the same kind of thing. That's what it feels like at any rate. Because you go to this boardroom meeting where they're discussing that, and then you see Rebecca casting a leech spell. She's messing with leeches on the patient, putting leeches on and then taking them off, and she's casting this spell. So instantly you're thinking, well, nut job.
We must be by the sequence where we've seen the burn marks on the floor, and Mulder kind of says they're into a pentagram, because that's from the first murder. That
was from the first one, is it? Right, okay. Right, I've breezed past that.
Shape from the second murder on the belly.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, so Mulder shows Scully the surveillance footage. The pentagram, right. So this is what I mean. So there's a lot. All this stuff is going on at the same time. So you got the people in the boardroom meeting talking about Rebecca. What does she know? Does she know anything? Then you got Rebecca casting a spell with leeches, and then you got Mulder showing Scully the surveillance footage. And he says that the pentagram marks were there before the operation started. Yeah, because he saw the pentagram marks. He's now telling Scully about them, and he says that apparently they were there before because he's looking on the surveillance and saying, so somebody put the pentagram there before the operation. And the Doc's pills contained belladonna, which is used in a hexing ritual.
Yeah.
Only one pharma company, which is convenient, uses it in its pills. Put out an APB on someone riding a broom, as Scully says, which I thought was pretty funny.
There's no I'd say there's no duality in this episode. You kind of know it's witchcraft or something's going on, and it's, you know, sometimes they pull a bait and switch where it can one path, and then no, it's quite, we're getting gory scenes and we're having witchcraft.
But there is a bait. There is a bait and switch in the sense of just who is doing the witchcraft and for what reasons. But yeah, it is basically they set out the stall pretty early on. No, it's witchcraft. It's definitely witchcraft. But I think they still use it to call attention to a very real life issue, which is the overworking of doctors in hospitals and the fact that accidents happen, and would those accidents happen less if we didn't push our doctors to work stupid 12 to 14 hour shifts day in, day out.
It's also quite it's commenting a lot on plastic surgery as well.
Yes, absolutely.
All the people that are getting the surgery are quite affluent, vain people as well. So it's kind of on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Dr. Elacqua burns through a woman's face. I had a birthmark when I was like around this age, and I had the option of having it removed via laser surgery or by having it frozen, and I chose having it frozen because I'd seen this episode. I was like, you're not going near me with one of those bloody things, I'm telling you. It just that image of the laser just burning through was just indelibly burned into my mind.
It's so strange that the murders, all of them, are incredibly gruesome, and it was on primetime TV. It's genuinely is horrific images what we're seeing here.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, go back a few episodes, you had Home that was, you know, it was pretty full on and it was banned and this, that and the other, but only a few episodes after an episode that was banned, they're like, nah, let's still see how far we can push it. Okay, Home was banned. Well, we get it, incest and all that. But let's witchcraft. Let's see if we get back. It's just like they're still just like pushing those boundaries. But but even today's standards, it still feels pretty dark.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that image behind us there with the guy's face peeled. It's like, oh, love it. Okay, so Scully examines Dr. Elacqua, takes his pills, and then Mulder shows Scully the leech marks on the surveillance tape. Scully shows Mulder the pills. So obviously that's them two having, I think it's this, and I think it's this, but we, the audience, know it's this because we've seen it in action.
Yeah, you've got one person, you know, it's science. One person, it's magic. It epitomizes both the characters. I love it.
So we go to the boardroom meeting, which is interrupted by Mulder and Scully. Dr. Franklin puts Rebecca Waite in the firing line. Basically pins it on her. He's quite happy for her to.
They mentioned here that 10 years prior there was a series of murders, and that nurse was there, and now she's transferred there. So, you know, anybody worth their salt should realise that they're kind of pushing this character too much.
Under the bus, because there's something off about Franklin big time. Okay, so we go to Rebecca Waite. She's performing a ritual, cutting her hair, and then we go to Mulder and Scully arriving. Probable cause, which is a broom. I basically look through the door. So, again, just a few episodes after we had Home, in which they made a bit of a gag about probable cause, in which there was just like, the kitchen was just, everything you looked at was probable cause. And then here it's like, we're a bit desperate. So, yeah, broom. So Franklin arrives home and there's no lights on. He gets to his bathroom and the bath is filled with blood. So like
it's just, it looks amazing.
Yeah,
it looks horrible. Oh man, I love that, the whole just walking in the darkness, the bathtub full of blood.
It's a good scene.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what was going on here. Oh, man, I was in.
It feels right out of like an 80s slasher horror type film, doesn't it?
Hellraiser almost. In the
especially when she comes out and she just like launches herself out, and you're just like, okay, stuff just got real. So she attacks him. She bursts out of the bathtub, attacks him, and then death by pins once Mulder and Scully arrive.
Yeah.
She basically just starts choking up pins, and it's just like, oh, grim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah. So Mulder goes to see / antagonize Dr. Franklin like he's Columbo. Franklin gets some levitation rest going on. So I really like the scene.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I like the stuff between Mulder and Franklin, because instantly you get that. This is who Mulder is. He's a profiler. He is a bit like Columbo in the sense that when he walks into a room, he kind of already knows who's done it. It's just about figuring out how they did it. And he's really on to this guy. And he just, you can tell in his line of questioning, the way he's talking to him, he's just antagonizing him, pushing him, trying to rub him the wrong way. And and then after that we get Franklin levitating on the bed. So Mulder shows Scully a calendar taken from Rebecca's house. It's marked on various witch Sabbaths that also coincide with the victims' deaths. Mulder thinks she was trying to protect them, not kill them. And he thinks that she was trying to protect them from Franklin. So, yeah.
I mean, we're now on the same page as Mulder, because we've obviously seen the levitating man.
Yeah.
And that sequence of the bathtub, which did feel like a climax as well, kind of in the middle of the episode. Which, so we're all on board.
Yeah.
Now it's the why. I do love the fact that as well, just from the levitation, like it does bring like fully witchcraft into the X-Files, doesn't it? You know, which is a strange thing, because it feels more. I know we watch a lot of episodes with UFOs and that grander kind of scale, but this feels almost kind of fable-like mysticism. Different aspect, but I like that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we got that with the Handy Verletzt as well.
It's just hammering it home again. These are the kind of episodes that I really enjoy, because it brings that kind of witchcrafty aspect into it.
So if I'm not misremembering, I believe the writers of this episode went on to write or create, I don't know if they created, but they were writers at any rate, the TV series Charmed, which I've no interest in. I've never seen a single episode, but obviously that's but obviously that's about witches, and it does make me wonder if these writers have a bit of certainly a sympathetic. They're sympathetic towards the witching clan. Not my thing, but there you go. So we go to a boardroom. A boardroom floozy comes to tell Franklin and the other doc that Mulder and Scully are on their way to check patients' birth dates. Franklin feigns tiredness, so the other doctor takes his surgery, which just happens to be a face peel. Oh, man. So disgusting.
It's not a particularly complicated episode, but it's so entertaining, and it keeps pushing further and further. You just like, they can't top the last one. They just can't. They're not going to do it. And then all of a sudden, wow, okay. Yeah. So that's where the line in the sand is now. Basically,
the writer's room for this episode was like, sit down, let's name all the different procedures they do in a plastic surgery place, and let's think of all the possible ways they could go wrong. And that's how they built their episode. So yeah, Dr. Shannon is all woe is me. Scully is all like, bitch please, you're minted. And then Shannon mentions there were 5 victims in the original case. Dr. Cox was number 5. So yeah, I thought that was a nice exchange, just the way he's acting all like, oh man, it's just my life is over, my career, my this, that and the other. And it's like, dude, you're like a millionaire probably from all this crap. It's just like, get over yourself. Your doctor will have you out in a week. Your lawyer will have you out in a week. Yeah. So
he won't let him answer any questions to the FBI.
So we get some computer jiggery pokery. Reveals Dr. Cox is now
enhanced.
Dr. Franklin. Yes, I was getting there. As soon as this scene came on, I was like, yes. Graham is so giving this episode a 5-star rating. We got witches, we've got like just gore galore, and we've got an enhanced scene. He's all over this.
Yeah.
A Graham checklist for X-Files. All right. So Franklin is busy doing a spot of carving.
Yes.
That's just oh man, is it proper Hannibal Lecter type stuff, but on his own face. Mulder tells Scully that Franklin killed those people as a blood sacrifice to make himself beautiful. I'm sat here thinking, really? And that's the best they could do? You've killed 5 people to make yourself look like that?
You got a read.
Okay.
From the inside, maybe?
Yeah, all right. So Franklin stops by a surgical room to pick up some stuff, including a giant silver dildo. I have no clue what that thing is. But he puts it down on the table. I'm thinking, dildo. I have no earthly idea what that could possibly be used for, but I don't like the idea of where it might be inserted. So,
as a pencil tool, you know.
So yeah. So I also think they deliberately picked that one because he fires it into Shannon. He basically inserts it into Shannon. So I feel like that's such an obvious kind of visual gag, which is, look at this thing, looks like a dildo. Now she's going to get it rammed inside. I'm just like, come on. Home gets banned. And this is allowed to remain on primetime television.
Mind as always.
Oh man. Oh man.
That's your Christmas sorted, Brian.
Anybody out there knows what that thing is? Let us know in the comments.
I think you've asked and answered, Brian.
Oh man. Okay, so Mulder and Scully are at Franklin's house.
Yep.
they see an inverted pentagram. This is another thing that cracked me up. It's like, did it really take for them to go all the way up the stairs and look down on it, a la Conduit, in order to see that there was a big-ass pentagram on the floor?
Well, I mean, you can look at 5 dots in a stomach and pick one out. On a dodgy TV camera.
It's I fail to believe that pattern on the floor can only be made out once you get to the top of the stairs. Oh, that's classic X-Files. So they see that names are inscribed on the points, including Shannon's. So Shannon gets taken into surgery while Franklin slices his face, and Mulder and Scully rock up. And Scully flashes her badge to stop the surgery. Mulder finds the face.
Awesome. Absolutely fantastic.
Like leather face, just like I just left it behind on the floor. There you go, have a face. I like the scene with Scully and the doctors, actually, when she's like proper trying to lay down the law and they're just like, no chance. Just thinking she's a crazy person. So then Franklin goes to the surgery to find out that... Mulder goes to the surgery to find out that the doctors did not listen to Scully and saved Shannon's life. Then there's screams, and another patient is dead. The birthday of the patient is the 4th date of the witch's Sabbath. Dr. Franklin is a new man with a new job on the horizon. We see him rocking up to an interview with his beautiful new face.
Yeah. Is that like thing where he's like...
Now, what I want to know is, because it feels like he's had to cut his own face off and put someone else's on.
Yeah.
So...
Why doesn't it just look like that person?
Yeah. Like, well, it's not that. It's just the whole making himself beautiful thing. Is it purely a cosmetic thing? So underneath, he's still old man, Dr. Franklin. Yeah. Or do you feel like it's, if he does all this stuff, then by way of doing it, he's selling his soul to whatever dark spirit, and then that renews his whole body?
Yeah, like another years of life.
Yeah, because if it's not the last option, it's just like, dude.
Technically, he is a plastic surgeon, so he could just make himself look better.
Yeah. So it would have to be like new life, wouldn't it? Because
prolonging life.
It just wouldn't be worth it. Because, like you say, he's a plastic surgeon. He could do it himself.
He did.
Yeah.
The results, Brian.
All right, okay, so there we go. Mulder and Scully lose. This guy is free to come back for a sequel. He doesn't, by the way. But there you go. Final thoughts and score.
This, I mean, it's not a perfect episode. It really isn't. It's got lots of faults, but for sheer entertainment, I had a blast watching this. I thought the gore scenes were fantastically well done. Can't believe it was on TV, because it is particularly gory. I do love the kind of interaction between Mulder and Scully. Even some of the sillier moments are incredibly fun. I think it's got standout sequences. All the deaths, the bathtub sequence, the face on the tray at the end. For me, it's not a 5 out of 5 episode, but I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. You know what I mean, Brian?
I know what you mean, yeah. It's like when you look at something objectively, you can say,
it's probably a 4.
Yeah. It works the other way as well. Like, I can look at The Godfather and I can say, objectively, it's a 5-star film. But for me, I give it like a 4.5. Just because I drop it that half mark, because not because there's any imperfections, but because I just don't feel the urge to rewatch it that much. So it's a feeling.
It's probably a 4 out of 5 episode, but the sheer entertainment I had, especially after the last episode, is a 5 out of 5.
Man alive, this was perfectly placed, really, after that one. But I really enjoyed this episode much more than I was going to. I'm not that sympathetic towards the witchcraft community, so I'm not big on episodes that show kind of sympathy towards that crowd. I know they try and make out the woman with the protective spells and all that. Yeah, I was entertained by it, but it is one where you get to the end of it and you're like, that was literally just for the sake of gore. It's just like they just wanted to gross people out, and they achieved that really well. So props to him. I'm going to give it a 3.5, 3.5 out of 5. It's just entertainment. It's an hour of entertainment, but it's not memorable in the sense of story and character and that kind of thing. It's just like, you think of this episode, you remember lasers burning through faces and fat getting sucked out and stuff like that, and that's fine. 3.5 out of 5 from me, 5 out of 5 from you. There we go.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about episode 7, which is Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man.
So this is a history of Cancer Man episode. So it goes deep into his backstory, his history. Whether that history is to be believed or not, I think is open to you as the viewer to decide. Ultimately, it's information that Fro Hickey has gathered and built a picture up of. But it's Cancer Man we're talking about, so it could be all misdirection and lies that he's planted or whatever. But so I know. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to start getting into it too much here. I'll save it for the next episode. But
I'm very interested. You've sparked some curiosity there. I can't wait to check it out. Of course, we hope you check it out and join us for the next episode where we talk about Musings of the Cigarette Smoking Man. And we will see you next time on the X-Files Revisited.
Bye.